Hi, welcome to this week's webinar. I've got my friend Emily here from Maerke Marketing. She did a fantastic trends for 2025 for us at the beginning of this of 2025. So she's come back and we are doing trends for marketing trends for 2026. Emily, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't believe it's nearly 2026. It's crazy, isn't it? Where's the
It's
year gone?
insane. Yeah.
It has. It has been an awesome year. But yeah, I'm going to take you through upcoming trends for 2026. I've kind of positioned this around kind of being relevant for spa and wellness, but this is also kind of really relevant for a number of different industries. These are overarching trends that we're seeing
Mhm.
around kind of consumer behavior. So shall I just
Perfect.
kick off?
Yes, please. Yeah, yeah.
Great. So from a marketing landscape point of view, we have seen so much change in the last few years. Like the rise in technology, AI. Obviously that's what everybody is talking about, and that
Mm,
has seen a really dramatic shift in how consumers behave and how they expect brands to behave as well. But there are some really interesting things coming through for 2026 around kind of values, around authenticity that haven't really been seen before or kind of haven't been this prominent before. So it's really exciting from a brand point of view. Um, so the areas I'll kind of cover off today, we'll be talking about kind of the genuine connections that customers want
mhm.
to make with ethically minded clients, how we kind of stand out through transparency, but then also authenticity, and authenticity is going to be the big word of today,
Mhm.
really. Um, how to leverage that technology, but keep that personal touch, and how to create those memorable experiences, and ultimately to drive loyalty, um, and be able to kind of navigate this world of social media with those all those different platforms that everybody gets very caught up on. Let's try and simplify that today and really help people kind of really figure out what's right for them and their brands.
Yeah, yeah. I think we can't have a conversation at the moment without bringing AI in. So
I know,
yeah, brilliant.
I know, exactly. But I'm going to try my hardest to really talk about the customer, because that's really what we care about, isn't it? So over to our first one. Our first trend is all around kind of the about purpose-driven purchasing decisions. Um, so I have so many conversations with founders and leaders, and they talk about the important that they tell me about their brand, and they're so excited and they're so passionate about why they created this brand and what their story is about, kind of where it came from, and the all the different ingredients and everything. There's so much detail and it's amazing. And then it gets stuck on an about us page on the website, and that's it. And it's kind of like that's really the passion that you get when you speak to people on a one-on-one basis. Let's get that out there. Let's get that to more and more people. And people really do care about that. Customers really do care about the backstory and the why and that purpose behind the brand. And they also there's also so many brands that are doing amazing things from a community point of view, and that might be within their own geographical community, it might be within the industry community, but there is so
Mhm.
many amazing different stories that of things that you're doing, and people really do care about that, and the core values as well. How are you talking about your core values? Do you really think about your core values on a day-to-day basis when you're developing your social media plans, when you're developing um, what your website looks like, even like a photo shoot? Have you briefed to the photographer what the core values of your brand are? Because that all plays parts into your brand. And so these kind of three areas together are so important because that purpose makes you stand out from other people. So that's really really important for brands.
Is this the piece where they would create that connection rather than just selling a spa day? It's the behind
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
spa, behind the concept, that kind of thing. Is that what you're saying? It's building the connection.
Exactly. It's about like developing a relationship that goes beyond that transactional piece. It's about, that's why I've selected that image. Like, you're in a coffee shop and it's about that interaction that you have with the coffee shop owner, not just the coffee that they give you. It's about that added more, that relationship that you've got, and that builds that trust and makes people want to choose you. And then moving on to the second one. So sustainability. Now that has been used
Mm-hmm.
for
Yep.
many, many years. The word sustainability. Everyone's like, well, what's your sustainability policy? And it gets brought out of like, oh, we better mention something about our sustainability just to know people know that we're ticking that box. But
Yeah.
our consumers and our clients aren't stupid. They really want that transparency. And it's about proof, it's not about promises. So really making sure that in your comms you're talking about your sustainability in a way that's really transparent
Uh-huh.
and really honest. So share your practices and your supplier relationships. How are you sourcing your materials? Show your documentation with specific metrics. All these things are really important, especially if this is a core pillar of your brand. This is so important to be able to kind of pull out those elements. But also be honest. Consumers aren't expecting every brand to be perfect, but they are expecting you to make progress. So it
Mm.
might be here, but now at the beginning of 2026, but by the end of 2026, you're aiming to achieve X, Y, Z. So talk about that story. Take people on that story and about why it's difficult for people to
Ah.
really be able, like why you're finding those challenges, and get them involved in it so that they see it. And also, please don't shy away from using certifications, third party validation, because that just enables people to quickly see easily that you are a brand that they know shares the same values as themselves.
Are you finding that guests and customers are a bit more savvy so they know what B Core is and they might look for that when
Mm,
making a purchase?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. B Corp is just huge in terms of being able to being people can quickly be like, right, yeah, that's a brand for me. It just enables people to quickly make those decisions. And we know that sustainability, and with B Corp, it's not just about making sure you're doing your recycling properly. It's about much more than that. It's about how you
Mm.
treat your employees. All those elements are really important, and people really do care about these things. It's not just a nice to have anymore.
Yeah, and I think people are a lot more savvy on greenwashing as well, aren't they? You
Exactly.
know, it's got to be, like you say, transparent and open.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Moving on to my third one. So,
Mm.
back in the day, I used to do a lot of experiential marketing on alcohol brands. Very, very different world, but it was huge, and it was so impactful because you'd be there interacting with your customers on one-on-one. As the years have gone on, and COVID as well, those experiential side of things started to kind of drift away, but they're seeing a real surge back because people want to see things, they want to touch things, they want to feel things, because everybody now doubts everything they see on their phones because
Mm.
of AI. They want to be able to see things for themselves. So, and this is amazing for our industry because of of our ability to be able to touch every single touch point. So all those different senses. So if you think about it from our phone in terms of our advertising that we can do, if you're a diffuser brand and you've got a very nice packaging that you can show a picture of in your digital advertising, but actually you can't show the smell, you can't smell the scent, you can't show the feel of the bottle, the textures, those
Mm.
things. So this is really where that opportunity comes in for us to be able to bring all those elements out. Um, So having those kind of tactile product demonstrations so that people can really kind of live and breathe it. And I don't know about you, but there's certain smells that like would take me straight back to my childhood. And the power of scent is huge. That's why M&S still pump out the bakery smell when you walk in the door, because they know the power of scent. And so go back and utilize that. And interactive experiences as well. I think there's so much more we can do within it just being very traditionally very passive of here you go, here's your sample, to actually work with us to create a scent or have workshops, have seminars that actively involve people, and then they've got something that they can take away with them that they've been involved in. There's so many more memories involved doing it that way than just being very passive. They're going to become a brand advocate, and they're going to do your marketing for you if you interact with them in the right way in that setting. Pop-up events as well, really important. So any opportunities around that for your brand, make sure that you're utilizing, because these things also get shared. They get shared across social. They help develop that excitement. So they get the right talking. As long as you're kind of making sure you're selecting properly where you're choosing to do these pop-ups, make sure that you're getting into the right audience, and then they will do that work for you going further out.
So what you're saying is you can do the events in your spa or using one of your spa brands, and then you use that collateral from the event, from what people doing them, to then use that as part of your marketing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you're a spa that's got a really strong, loyal members, or you've got visitors that come back to you every 3 months, and you can utilize your CRM data to invite them along to these kind of events, and they become your advocates, and they will go out and they will tell their friends and family about it. That is so much more powerful, impactful than just pumping a load of money into kind of paid ads. You're making a personal, emotional connection with these people.
It's interesting. I was at a conference last week in Milan, and when you talk about multisensory touch points, one of the biggest things that Emily Brown, Mandarin Oriental Group Spa Director, said was around thematic experiences. It's about bringing everything to life, with the scent, the sound, the touch, so that people do have exactly what you're saying, an experience that they want to take away with them as well. And also with the interactive experiences, we're seeing a huge rise in spas looking at apothecary, where you go and you blend your own product to use in your treatment. You're looking for relaxation, let's put some lavender in. Apothecary bars, I think, are going to be a really big trend for 2026.
Absolutely, absolutely, because it's all about personalization, and people expect personalization now, whether it's through an email that's personalized to you based on the elements that they know you like to use in the spa, whatever, or an actual personalized scent that is your scent. Like, that would be incredible, wouldn't it, if we could give that to every single customer who came through the door.
Yes.
So, a human touch beats perfection. So, again, playing into this whole element of the power of this industry is around that human touch side of things. I mean, I don't know about you, but there's some incredible touchless treatments out there, but I wouldn't want to ever replace a lovely therapist. This is an AI generated therapist, which you can see why she's so perfect. But I wouldn't want to replace her with one of Elon Musk's robots. So that human touch is still a vital part of the industry. And it's all around that authenticity over the algorithm. So really kind of talking about you and your brand and what your brand is doing in a way that is authentic to your brand, and not just really polished, beautiful posts, which, Instagram used to be like that, but it's becoming more and more authentic. That's really what's cutting through to people. So this could be done in a number of ways. So that could be done through featuring your real staff members, their personal stories. Why do they work for you? Why do they love working for you? What's their favorite treatments that they do? All these kind of different elements that you can bring in. um, behind the scenes moments of the daily operations. So really kind of bring it to life in terms of, you know, what it is like to work on these brands, all that, the crafting process. If I think about some of the brands I work on from a beauty brand point of view, the thought and the process that goes into creating their next body butter or oil or whatever it is, showcase that, tell that story,
Mm.
say, well, how this is how we got to it, and this is why I love the product so much. It's just all the time and effort that we put into it. There's a lot of scientific research around showcasing time and effort that you put into your product or your service is very highly valued by the end client. and,
Ah.
and embrace those imperfections, reveal that you're human. You don't need to just be this perfect um, poster child the whole time. It's about kind of showing your imperfections as well. Highlight that team personality and that expertise. And this actually is, for all the criticism I've just done around kind of social media, this is actually where social media can really come in and be such an amazing part of your brand, because it really can showcase your brand and all the layered elements of your brand, not just one flat view of
Mm.
it.
I guess it's that thing with people seeing the finished meal or actually wanting to watch the chef making the meal, isn't it? That's what comes to mind as you're saying this. It's like people are quite into scrolling cooking videos and things like that. People like the behind the scenes, and you're
Exactly.
right. I don't think we should be encouraging people to recognize their therapist by person, the name of the person, how do you go, what's the behind the scenes like, what happens on a daily basis. That sort of stuff is actually, people are nosy, aren't they? We're
Yeah.
nosy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And like for some, my algorithm is very much into musical theatre, and I'm always seeing the behind the scenes of musical theatre. And I find it fascinating. Like it's really interesting. So yeah, let's showcase that world of what all the things that have to go on to make this amazing show of being a spa or the beauty brand or whatever brand we are.
I love it.
And my fifth one is around community, which you know very well, Sarah,
Yep.
and user generated buzz. So community is becoming increasingly important, and this is just growing year on year, and the power of community is just vital for the future of brands.
Yeah.
um, so launching branded campaigns or launching new products or services, whatever it is, and making sure that you've got a community on board to help you do that will make your life 10 times easier. And that can be bringing on people who are, again, become those brand associates for you. They are advocating your brand out there. And getting them to amplify about your brand for you on your behalf. So amplify those customer voices. So, for a long time, brands have been doing, reviews on their website, on different product pages. How can you bring in the authenticity of that? So rather than it maybe being a written review, it's a video of somebody viewing
Mm.
the product, and you can tell it's a real person as well. It's not some stylized content. It's a real person who genuinely uses that product day in, day out. All those kind of things really kind of help to create this feel that you're part of a community, because people don't want to just hear your voice saying that you're great. They want to hear
Yeah.
other people who are like them saying that they love the product or the service as well. And build those engaged communities, and that can be done in a number of different ways. It can be done in a more formal way, if dependent on the brand, it can be done through WhatsApp groups. It can be done, if you're a spa and you've got members, like building a membership hub so that people can build a community themselves. It's not really seen as kind of being a space where you're going to be generating a huge amount of profit for yourself, but it's about kind of creating a community around your brand who then go out and spread out news around you, and make that content they're creating share worthy. So, live interactive events, making sure that you're capturing that content and sharing that out, getting them to capture that content and sharing it out.
Yeah, community is definitely a big buzzword. Again, Daniel Pouland from Accor was asked at the same conference, what's your trend word for 2026? And his word was community.
I
But I
really,
think it also has to be super authentic. I think you can't be doing a video of people looking all, like you say, ready and prepped and doing a we're pretending community. It only works if it is actually embedded community, especially I think from a marketing perspective, because people will call a brand out if it's not authentic, because
exactly.
you need to know the people that are there being the community, if that makes sense.
And that community, they're not there to just be sold at. They're there because they are getting something else from it, of value, of worth in their lives as well. So it's about kind of figuring out what is that thing that's of value. So, for example, like relatively recently helped brand launch like a membership program, and so the community element side of things was in terms around building network and the gain that people would get from that, versus like a community of people who want to kind of get ideas off each other, or they want to kind of share problems. There's so many different values that people will get from different types of communities, so it's pinpointing exactly what it is for your brand that community is for. What's the reason for people to show up? And on to my sixth one. So short form video and social diversification. So
Mm.
video, we all know video is vital
Mhm.
nowadays from a content point of view, not just for social, but across a number of different channels. Um, and I think sometimes because people know it's so important, they get a tad overwhelmed with it, and they're
Mm.
like, we need to be everywhere. Like, I was talking to someone recently, and they were like, I know I need to be on TikTok. And I'm like, well, do you know you need to be on TikTok? Who is your audience? Are they on
Yeah.
TikTok? So really, kind of the first step you need to do is identify who your audience is. So determine what platforms are they using and make sure you're there. And don't spread yourself as a brand too thinly. Really, I think you're much better to really kind of focus in and hone in on certain ones and do it really well, versus just
Mm.
trying to do everything and not actually achieving anything. And then kind of prioritize short videos. So create short, snappy, authentic videos, and make sure that the brand mention or visual is coming up quickly and early. You can't wait to the end of the video because people have short attention spans. But making sure that you're creating video that's quick and it's got meaningful value to people. It's not just a sales technique. It's actually got something in there that is meaningful to them to make them want to keep watching. And repurpose that as well. There's so many tools out there now. You
Mm.
can use Canva, but you can use many other AI tools as well to repurpose that to be able to use it across all your different channels.
Yeah, I mean, I think video is the way forward. People are so used to it, aren't we? We all sit there and we just scroll through
Oh,
things, you know. Yeah.
yes. So yeah, and that's what we're just so used to doing, is just seeing things in short form now. We just want to get to the point quickly, and so we need to kind of make sure that we're doing that. And on to number 7. So I have to obviously have something that's much more technical.
Here it comes.
Um, so really, it's all about using tech to enhance the customer journey, and it's not about replacing humans; it's enhancing it really. So, and a lot of brands are already kind of utilizing this. So you've got AI, can't say it, AI powered consultations. So skin analysis, uh, personalized treatment recommendations, All these kind of elements can be used at the beginning of that journey, utilizing AI to be able to do those recommendations and those consultations with people. But I'll kind of come on to kind of what you need to make sure that you do to finish that journey off. Virtual try-on tools as well. I think these are amazing, and I think they're definitely worth investing in if you've got a brand that suits this. So using technology to be able to kind of showcase what your product would look like on them or in their room or whatever it might be. I think that's an incredible way of really kind of bringing your brand to life in a new and exciting way. Interactive engagement. So I see this a lot from a lot of kind of different types of brands not within our industry around gamification. So I think kind of as an industry we can learn a lot from that around how can we bringing gamification into some things that are really quite simple for us. So for example, you know, at the end of people going on a spa trip, their reviews, rather than it being kind of a review form that's very long, structured, or even kind of, you know, understanding the contraindications prior to a treatment, how can we bring gamification into those pieces to enhance that customer journey? And then that kind of human touch element is the thing that grounds all these things. So we need
Mm.
to make sure that we've got that human touch element maintained so that people don't just feel like they're talking to a robot all times. It's got to be kind of grounded in that human, a human-centered way. That's got to be across every single point of these to make sure that it still feels personalised. It still feels about the people.
Yeah, I think AI-powered consultations is definitely one for the future where almost someone can complete their consultation before they even make their booking
Yeah.
and make sure that that then somehow in the background connects into which treatment they'd recommend. You've selected A, B, and C for your concerns. This is the treatment that we would recommend. Those sort of things, or an upgrade, are all really clever ways of making more of what you've already got, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's about making sure that that's of benefit to the customer. So, for
Yeah.
example, doing that so that that means you've then got more time um, for your treatment whilst once you
Mhm.
get there versus having to have those kind of conversations prior and then that eating into your treatment time. All those kind
Mhm.
of things is so that it makes sure people understand that it's of benefit to you. It's not just about the brand trying to cut corners or save money. It benefits the end consumer.
Mm.
And my last one, so this is all around kind of value, and I mean this is in rule 101 of marketing, but
Yeah.
it's time and time again we see it get forgotten, and we see brands get
Mm.
caught in like a loophole, and especially because everybody well, many are struggling from a financial point of view now. We know our customers are struggling financially, and so that really kind of increases the pressure for us to generate those sales. But it's really around kind of really making sure that we're driving that value and that trust over those discounts, and that is, you know, being said after a massive Black Friday deal after deal that I've seen recently. Really making sure that you are valuing that that time of building relationships with customers. So really communicate that value. So that value can be through um, actually what is the benefit to the customer of why they would like this product. Why is it? Why would they want to spend this money on me? Their hard-earned cash. How can we really make sure that that is of real value to them? Um, and building that trust through proof. And there's all those kind of elements that we've already talked around in terms um, of the testimonials, through making sure that we're being authentic, through telling the story of the brand. All these build that trust, and that we're more likely to spend that money with brands that we trust.
Mm.
Because it's a risk. It's a risk for our customers to have to part with their cash if they don't know what the end result's going to be. So we need to make sure that we are reducing that risk for them and position it as an investment. So, even if it's as simple as trying to sell a skincare product and we want to increase them to the bigger SKU size. So position that as an investment rather than, oh, well, it's I know it's £10 more, but it's actually like, well, actually that investment means that you'll have this then for 5 months over 3 months or whatever the investment may be. And it's an investment in you as yourself. Like if it was a spa day we're trying to sell, the investment is in you, in your time and your self-care. And we know that particularly the younger generations see self-care as a necessity, not just a treat. And so that's an investment. They're investing in themselves. So let's position it in that way rather than almost being apologetic about kind of the prices that we're putting out there. Let's really kind of show people that actually this is great value for money. Let's really, really dial that up.
I think discounting is a really dangerous area anyway, because as soon as you get known for discounting, whatever your brand is, people will wait for those discounts. If you know that X spa or X brand is going to do always do Black Friday or do this or do that, you just hold off, don't you? I'll just wait.
Exactly.
I'll wait, and then I'll snap up a deal. And you can never get that value back, I think, as a business, or it takes a long time to get that value back if you change your mind and realize you don't want to discount.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just so, it's so difficult to do because you really have to hold your nerve, but you do end up, you like, race to the bottom. You're just constantly kind of trying to compete to get more and more people in. So being able to really be confident in your pricing and stick to that is incredibly important. And so, just to kind of summarize my 8 trends, so you've got the first one around purpose-driven purchasing decisions. So really make sure that we're telling our story about the brand and we are proud of it and we want to make sure as many people know it as possible and be really clear on that. Sustainability requires transparency, so make sure that anytime you're talking about sustainability, don't just be vague around it, really get into the specifics, really kind of make sure people understand exactly what your brand does. Immersive and experiential marketing, so make sure that you are getting your brand out there and you're interacting with real people, touch, feel, taste, smell, everything. Make sure that you are interacting with people. Human touch beats perfection. So again, tell that human story. Make sure that you're kind of utilizing the team and bringing out kind of everything that it is about your brand that makes you human and not just something behind a screen. Community and user-generated buzz. Dialing into that community, but making sure that it's a community with purpose and it adds value to people. Short form video and social diversification. Tech-enhanced customer journeys, so really kind of pick and choose the elements of tech that you bring in and make sure that you center it around the person and the customer, and so that they feel special and it feels personalized to them. And value and trust over discounts. And I think that's me.
Oh, thank you so much, Emily. It's really nice to see them like that. But I think I'm generally getting the vibe that it's all about the people. We're so jaded perhaps with AI and wondering whether something's real or not. A lot of them seem to be jumping up and saying human, real, touch, sense. We want to go, I don't want to use the word back to basics, but we want to go to what spa is or a brand is, and that's the actual product, the treatment, the thermal experience. People want to feel involved in that rather than glossy, shiny, potentially AI driven imagery.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think people are just so savvy to that nowadays that I think it's really and people are bored by it and just people just don't trust it. So let's bring that trust back into the brand and really kind of bring out the human side of it. And I can't think of a better industry to be in to be able to do that, because that's what the industry is all about. So actually, we're really lucky because we've got so much to play with.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Emily, for this. This is brilliant, and hopefully it inspires people for 2026, and we'll see lots more people-driven, people-centric marketing out there.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.